Yay.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here, Megan and everybody. I'm not gonna, I think we're gonna have people just coming in and we won't be able to greet everybody, but I want to say thank you so much for coming back. I'm so sorry about the video the other night. So Megan so graciously agreed to come back and hang out and talk about our Calendar Girl project.
Which is easy to do.
Yeah.
Oh, over and over.
I'm spotlighting you.
Did I do that?
No, I did. I spotlighted you.
I'm so big now on my computer.
Do you want me to unspotlight you? Nobody can't see you.
I mean, whatever you need to do.
Okay, you're good. You look beautiful.
This is not my favorite angle.
I can't help that. You'll have to get some other other cameras hanging up from above. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
okay. So
where do we begin?
Where do we begin?
Okay, first let's see. Let's go in the chat first. Show chat preview. Why isn't it showing? There we go. So, and I'm going to ask anybody and everybody to go ahead and mute just in case.
And I won't see the chat, right? Just you.
Yes, I think just you.
Okay.
So Janice says yes. Can hear you both, and you both look good. So yes, Calendar Girls, another band. No, well, we might start a band. I don't know, but
I would love that. I always wanted to be a rock star.
Too, a girl, and like, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be a girl band anymore. For me, it'd just be like, I don't know, an old lady band. Do they have those?
Oh girls. Riot Girls.
Rocking it. Hey, look, who does not love Dolly and Cher? They looked amazing, right? Did you see Dolly rocking it?
Oh, Dolly Parton. No, I don't really watch like TV.
I don't either, but like she's on a couple of things where I saw.
I will say the two of them, and I talk about this often, like those two, and I know they've had work done and all that stuff, but like I don't even care. They still look incredible, and they move their bodies. Like if I could be where they are when I'm older, sans all the plastic surgery.
Well, I mean, just the fact that they get up and go do like perform in front of a million people. Oh my gosh.
They're so beautiful, and they're so I don't know.
Parton and Cher.
They're amazing. And they're such like I would love to spend the afternoon with them.
Wouldn't that be fun, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll Zoom with them soon. Hey, maybe they'll make smartphone movies. I don't know. So, all right, we're going to talk about Calendar Girls. Yes. Megan has a lot of sample. I only have like undone stuff.
Well, I was just thinking about that. You're an innovator. And so you can't keep up with all of your ideas. So that's why. So you shouldn't feel bad. It's just that your brain is working so fast that you're an innovator.
I love you. You know what? I'm starting to embrace that. I felt, as you know, I felt bad about it for a long time. But I talk about this, and this is an aside, of course, but about enjoying the process. And that's what I'm doing. I'm processing, and I go back. A lot of, people that know me know this. I go back to stuff that continues to call to me to finish it. But right now and I want to tell you something. You inspire me so much. And this is not blowing smoke, because I don't love stuff. Everybody here pretty much that knows me knows that I design stencils too, or I have. I'm not very active with it, but I don't use them very much because I'm not good with them. I mean, I have ideas for them, and I actually love designing them, but I'm not very good with the actual, I'm a stamp girl and an art foamy girl. but I have been using the crap out of your stencil. As you can you see? I don't know if I'm spotlighted you, but I can't see myself now. So, oh, my face. I need to go to my desk. So I'm sorry. Over here, just thinking nobody can even see my face. So there. And you know what? It has those lines again. So I'm sorry about that. But this stencil is what I'm talking about. And
Yes.
so Megan will take it away because she designed the stencil kind of based on what we had right? Didn't you
Yes.
do it kind of for them? So
So
she
Kae wanted to come up with this idea since we're both very, although our styles are different, we have a lot of common threads. And so we both are very passionate about drawing figures and people. And so she was sharing some things that she was working on in our other group about calendars. And so we came up with this idea of coming up with a calendar girl every month. But then we were like, okay, how are we going to make that work? And so what we decided to do was create mix and match people whose heads and bodies mix and match, giving you at least 4 combinations and releasing those every 3 months. So every season. And so ideally you could create a different calendar girl every month. And I came up with the idea of creating, you know, I've made house books before. I used to have a house book template stencil that I discontinued. And we just thought, why don't I come up with a different design, this book is different than my other book stencil. It's taller. And I thought this could be the place where we house our collection, our people, so they can live in the house. So the idea was every month we'll create these, like a girl for the month, and then we create a spread with the girl for the month in the book. So I have my house book here that I started, and the stencil comes with like a little pocket. It comes with doors, and you can put like your calendar girl inside, although I gave this one wings, so she doesn't fit inside the door so nicely. They don't go in so well with wings, but you know what I mean. So just to kind of have fun. And so the idea is every month. So this will be January. So I'm going to work on here and create a spread. And we're going to do like a free class video every month of us working in, you know, probably in a split screen situation, working on our spreads with a girl that we've created from the Calendar Girl art maze. And the great thing is we wanted these to all work together as a full collection. So when you get the second season's girls, their heads and bodies will also fit on this season's girls. So each season that you add to your collection, they're all going to work together, creating even more and more and more possibilities to create different people and figures and all that.
Yes. And I want to add to that. Let me see if I can figure out how to come on here and just say that it was, I think in our newsletter that went out, it was a little confusing. So I just want to make it clear that so we have so right now, December, okay, we're releasing the January, February, March girls. It is only in a set. Megan designed a body and a head and a little motif, and I designed a body, a head, and a little motif, and they all do mix and match really nicely together. It is one thing I have to say, it was really such a pleasure and so fun designing with Megan. I actually probably drove her crazy, but only for a short time, because it was like just, I think, a few days going back and forth, like mostly texting.
Yeah.
And we would, I would show something or she would show something, and then it just clicked. And like the she, you know, when if I showed her something, she sent me something pretty much right back in response. That was it. You know, we made very few changes. Okay. So it was really cool. And almost like felt like really serendipitous at times. We were on the same wavelength. So that part of it was super fun. It was just effort. It felt really effortless. Now the fun really is going to begin, though, that we have them in our hands. But I think that we said something in our newsletter that made it seem like that was a lot more sets. Okay. It's not, it's a very nice price point, because you actually are getting, right, 6 stamps, six stamps for that price. And they all will, if you end up with all the collection at the end, you're going to have so many possibilities. And keep in mind, all the motifs can be used separately. You know, you don't have to make girls, right? You can use the heads. I know Megan has some really amazing samples. I also have a couple things that, mine
you
aren't
can
even,
do like collage papers. I already organized them back into my stash because I was like, oh, we showed those because I'm really organized.
I'm going to show you these. I'm going to turn my camera around this way, though. And I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know if I have
for a moment. Look how good I'm getting at this. No, I'm just kidding. So I did mine on the, so I did a few little more graphic-y ones that were fun. Just again, using, but just the 2 motifs. But remember, at the end of the year, so we're going to be releasing, you know, our sets again in a couple more months, right? We'll keep you, of course, posted. These are not a pop-up shop either, so they will stay in there, okay, throughout the year. Beyond 2024, I can't guarantee, right? But they will all be in there, and then you're going to have even more motifs and to mix and match, because they all kind of, and when I say go together, you know, I mean, they just do, because because of our hand and because of our, I don't know, they just all ended up just flowing so well. So I'm super excited about these, and I'll show you the fronts of a few of my houses. And again, look how successful I was with Megan's stencil. Unbelievable to me.
Looks great. And we should say, so there's no confusion, because I've sold things in my shop, vice versa.
Yes.
All the art foamies will be available at artfoamies.com. All the stencil, this stencil,
but on so many of your stencils go with this. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, but my stencil will be available in my shop. So I know during Black Friday, a lot of people got the stencil already, and it's basically, you know, it's a template to make the house shape, which is super easy. And I might actually do a video on how to like throw one of them together. It's very easy.
Yeah, do that. I was like, I want to watch that video.
Yeah, it has a door, it has a pocket, and then just some other fun motifs that look fun, you know, like little greenery in front of a house or a bird, you know, just stuff that kind of all goes.
I wonder if your little dress fits on my peg doll. You all know about the freebie this
Oh, does she? Does it?
I don't know.
I was thinking this would be fun, like on a clothesline. Like I love 2 years ago, I did something with a dress for a project in fodder school, and I loved it. So I have a handmade dress stencil that I use all the time, but I made this one smaller because I was like, oh, it could be fun to play with that too. But that would be great if it fits on your freebie.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe even these, I don't know how these heads might be too big, but you could just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to play around with it, though. It's super cute. And I love the pocket too. And I think the pocket actually I tried it and that wasn't super successful, but it is a cute idea and it did work if I could do it.
I put all my months in here, all your months.
And also a little shutter for windows. This is a cute little shutter for a window. And yeah, we do need to mention the art foamies, because this wasn't really I mean, this is sort of what kind of spurred the collection on a little.
Right, the words
is our art foamy poetry sets with all the months. I don't know if you can even really see this, but with all the months and all the days. Okay, so calendar, if you're going to do a journal along these lines and going to come to our monthlies, we just to let you know, we will be using those a lot. And I know a lot of people got those on Black Friday too.
Yeah. So I have my samples here, which I'm just going to flash in the screen. I don't know if people can see them, but just mixing and matching all the different parts. So this is Kae's head with my body, and then my motif is like a halo. And I love Kae's her body for this girl has this, I like it as a window. And I've been putting I don't know if you can see a little scene in there. Super cool. This is a stencil I just came out with that is good for words. And then I was saying in the last video, I don't know where I remembered the idea, but I was I got this monarch butterfly kind of color scheme. So I created these in a monarch butterfly kind of theme. And this motif, this circle motif, right? If you cut it in half, it makes nice little wings. So I made those in wings. Here's another one with wings. But then Kae's arms, the band stamp, this one, I stamped it right like this, and then I cut it in half and I made wings with the band. But the band also makes great arms.
I love that too. Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's just so many options.
So look, you cut up, can you see this? It's so great to be able to show people all the different things they can do, because remember, when we get back together, we're going to be putting them together. So here, this is part of your dress, Megan.
Yes. Like a little shawl.
Well, it makes a cute little.
Oh my gosh, it makes a great wing.
Yes, and it makes a cute. You can mix and match the, not just the whole body, but cut them in half. We have different dresses. I think the other thing I am going to recommend that you all get your hands on. I know we've shown this in Patreon a little bit, but I've been doing more with it lately, and that's the Duralar, or some kind of transparency that you can mixed media transparency, because it is really fun to add on to into your journals. This is a piece just overlaid over the top. Here again, not finished, girls, but really fun just to sort of scribble underneath and then overlay it, right? So just some cool ways again of mixing and matching. And I don't have all my pages put together yet, but I do have quite a few.
No, but that's good.
I was like, oh gosh, I need Megan's class to show me how to put all these together. And
I got to make a second book too, because I think it will, when we do the videos we were talking, I think it'll be helpful for me to have a spread finished and then recreate it for the class.
Yes, I figured that.
I have two books, which is awesome, because I can't. Now that you just showed me how to make wings out of the top like that, I'm like, oh, I gotta do that as soon as we're done.
And I think something, even this whole portion, I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, Janice McLaren says, what paper or cardstock do you use for the house? So I'll let Megan answer, because she has an actual book done, and then I can speak to what I used for a few of my things.
Here's what I recommend. So what I did, just for ease, sometimes I'm just I have 4 kids, I've got less time. So sometimes I will just make books with Tim Holtz with the ideology, has these little, I'm trying to think, they must be 5x8 pads or 5x8.5 or something like that. I think they're called background pages. So they look like a sheet like this, and I fold them in half, or in this case, I traced my stencil on them and I just cut them out on the pages.
Super cute.
So I just cut them out. Actually, I think it was the background still worked for this. So I just cut them out. And then when I go to work on them, I'll tone them down with just like some paint,
Or
you know,
something. Uh-huh.
just to have something. But what I use most of the time, often, is watercolor paper that's really thick. And I get mine, I tell people all the time, I go to Five Below and they have these watercolor pads there that are 50 sheets and it's $5. And it's the thickest watercolor paper I've ever seen. So it's cold press. So it's not like, it's the kind that's slightly bumpy versus like hot press, which is like super smooth, like cardstock. But that's what I use. And also, I also just wanted to share real quick that I have a class coming up in January for fodder school, and I do use art foamies in the project. And some people weren't able to get art foamies in time, but these art foamies will work in my upcoming fodder school project too.
Yeah.
These are on the watercolor paper, so that's why I'm holding them up. Because it's the watercolor paper is great for the books too, because then you can, you know, use paints and watercolors and whatever.
Yes. So
Yeah.
pretty much. So same here. I will tell you, I don't get my watercolor paper at Five Below, although now I will definitely look next time I'm nearby, but I oftentimes order it on Target. They have a brand called Pacon or I don't know, something like that. It's a more of a kids, I guess or student grade watercolor paper, super cheap. It's like a ream for, I don't know, $19 or something. It's pretty, I like to use it as a base kind of for lots of journals like this. So yes, just something, you want something that's going to accept water, because if you're doing water media, you're going to want something that also can accept collage without buckling too much, you know. So yeah, something a little more with some weight to it, right? And then I think don't you have little rivets through that one with like little rings?
Yeah, I have grommets. I have grommets through the rings. So back in the day, I was telling you, I used to have like a eyelet setter that Making Memories sold. It was like a little eyelet setter toolkit.
Yeah, I have that. I have it. I still have it.
Yeah,
I do.
so you can use that and get eyelets easily enough. But recently I've discovered the crocodile, so I have that now.
Oh,
Same thing, but just like a bigger tool.
yeah,
But the eyelet setters work just as well. Either way, you know,
yeah, great.
it's just handy to reinforce because I'm using the rings on the side, you
So
know, the binder rings. So, you know, it's kind of good to have them through an eyelet
just
setter.
I got some of these on the, you know, on the big A.
Those are cute.
They're
Yeah.
so cute. I love the enamel bright colors. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I love that.
I
Mine
need
are okay, but they're metallic colors. I found them at Staples.
well,
I
we'll
like those.
look some more. I do like some of these. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. They're kind of weird colors, but I think on their own they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Somebody also asked about, I think, did somebody ask about my trifold? I'm not going to demo, we're not going to do any demos today, but it is something
No.
I will share, you know, maybe at the end of our first lesson, or if you want to call it a lesson, our first gathering. Oh yeah, I did two trifolds, super easy. This one I did make a pocket which got wrinkled. Not done. These are all works in progress. Okay. And they might be in progress for years. I can't guarantee. And then this is just a regular trifold with no pockets. So that's kind of fun. I also made, I mean, I ended up cutting it too short, but that's okay. So I just made a little shorty book, again, still using your stencil as the template, and just greeting cards. So if you have old greeting cards, even like that are from other people that you like to save, you know, Christmas cards, birthday cards, whatever, that would make such a cute base also. This is greeting cards, just blank greeting cards. I folded it and did a little staple journal. So I'm going to maybe keep one of these for January.
Yeah, I mean, there's many options. Like
Yeah.
people could do a book, like 4-page. So you have 4 pages there, like a little 4-page book every month. Have a January pay. You know, it doesn't really matter at all. It's just about us finding a way to play with the art foamies. And in fact, let's see. even if people have my old template, my old house book from
Ooh,
years
yes,
ago.
I need that. Do you have any more? Send me one.
I don't, I mean, I discontinued it because, well, initially it just,
Bring
some
it.
things slow down and it doesn't make sense because I mass produce things. So it didn't make sense to get like hundreds more if I was only going to sell like a few here and a few there. So sometimes I have to discontinue, but
Oh,
this template will work for this project too. Even though the girls might end up taller, you just cut them down and you're just doing a smaller portion of them in your book. So if people have the
well,
old template, you
also
can use that
remember,
too.
see, look at this. Like, that's just her head, no, nothing else. So you can
Yeah,
stamp it and cut it out any shape you want. You can make her,
yeah,
whatever, like a little blob on the bottom. I mean,
so many options,
whatever.
like
So
so many.
and then this is my Princeton book I'm so proud of that we talked about. And I know I
And
should.
but we have to, because this is the serendipitous part. So like Kay and I will think of ideas like at the same time or like finish each other's idea, and she showed me this book. But the irony of this, I was like, is that a Princeton catalog? Like for Princeton University? She's like, yeah, it is. Oh my God. See that picture? I should show you on my phone. Go back to the tigers. So I was saying the case. So I'm in New Jersey. Princeton is in New Jersey. And I have worked in Princeton on and off until recently. My whole life, like I grew up in the Princeton area, I worked in the Princeton area. It's like I'm always there. And look,
That's so, and what's weird, okay,
that's my son. So this was like 2 weeks ago.
and you have to understand, I did not know this. I didn't, I mean, of course I know Princeton, but I wasn't thinking of a New Jersey. Like, this is something I saved. I actually have another one around here somewhere because when my youngest was going to college, they were sending stuff and they
Yeah.
were accepted to, quite a few different schools. They and this was one, so I wanted to save all these things sort of as a memento, but then I'm like, I don't need this now, but it will be
I
really
can
cool as
get
a
you another
journal,
one.
right? So anytime, so this
I'm
is just
always
what I
ready.
wanted to mention. If you do have any, like things around, okay, like that, I'm going to just show you a couple other things just to give you some ideas for when we meet up again. And then of course, hopefully Megan will have a little thing on how she put together her journal, because I would love to make one like yours with all my blank pages.
Yeah.
So I need direction. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
I'll work on a video in the next couple days and I'll just put it on my YouTube. So you can look for that because everybody's buying the stencil anyway. It's for anyone.
right.
We're using it in this project, but people can buy it no matter what. So I'll just put a little tutorial out.
Okay, so if you have stuff like this laying around, look, this is an old makeup or skincare catalog. I don't even, this is a cool one because this is from an art show, right? So, I mean, it just, the shape, the
Yeah.
papers are nice. So these are fun ways. This is an old record album, like from, as whatever, songs of yesteryear, I don't know. And I just, again, used Megan's stencil to trim that out. I have a big chopper, so I was able to just hack it. And, and I actually, this was a big record album. So I have the other portion to it that I'm going to use and bind. So that's fun too, because then we can put these actually held, the album, so you can make little pockets if you want to. I don't know, not there yet, but anyway, just wanted to give you some food for thought. Again, you can, and these are smaller, but these are like old board books, from
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
this is from Dollar Store. It was actually um
A coloring book.
yeah, like a coloring
Yeah.
pad, like postcards, and it'll be great because the pages are thick, and
Yeah.
ugly, so I didn't mind wrecking it. And then this is really fun. This was from another art show I attended a while back. And I hold on to these things because I'm gonna think of something really clever to do right as I'm throwing it away. But anyway, I just wanted
Yeah.
to, so anyway, that's my clever ideas for the day. All right.
And then you wanted to mention that, you know, going forward, we might come up with ideas to add little accessories to this collection, or you were saying some other ideas, right?
Yes. So be, of course, yeah, you know, because this is something, it's sort of like, I don't know, we, like us, we're works in progress. And as we continue to, you know, flow through this, I know other ideas will come to us. I do want to also mention the same, that Megan has her stencil. I have some things on my Patreon. Now, you don't have to be my patron to go to my Patreon page and go to the digital, the shop, because you can have, get digital downloads there for, you know, a few bucks, and you can get all sorts of things that work with this project as well. So like, the words, I have a bunch of different word things, and again, downloadable, so you can get, you know, you can, once you download them for the few bucks, you have access to them again and again, right? So these, I have a bunch of different words that all work for different holidays, also regular, like just, you know, inspirational words. I have, and I think I kind of shared this on our last live, which was ruined. So again, thank you so much for coming back. But these little downloads, which I know they're small, but remember, when you have a download, you can manipulate them. And so these are super fun to blow up these houses and use them as an underlayer. Okay, which I have, but it's in a pile here somewhere. And that's how I did this one. So, you know, it's just, it's all playing off of each other. And again, I keep telling Megan, well, wait, I need more stencils now. But you have, like, you're not like me in the sense that you just run
I
off.
can't create and then the next day produce. Like, I have to, it's a different process for me because I work with the manufacturer. So I have to think of things, give them lots of time, because
Oh, I know.
they take forever.
But not when you design your art foamies, you get them pretty fast.
Oh yeah, I can design things fast, but the turnaround on their end is different. And I have to order hundreds for it to make sense. So when I produce something, I really need to know ahead of time, like how am I going to come up with a lot of ideas to use this? Like, it has to be something that I'm going to use often, or I feel like other people can use often, because I have to do like 300 or 400 of them at a time. So
I know.
yeah, it's a little different.
I just meant I could make your art. When you have art foaming ideas, I try to
Oh yeah, you're great. I give you an idea and like the turnaround.
Anyway,
Amazing.
so let's see. Do you get new bodies every 3 months? Yes, new bodies, new face, or you know, new heads, new bodies, and a new motif. So from each of us, they're already done. Believe me.
They're already done.
I don't know about Megan, but I'm so excited to.
They're so
Yeah, so you all have to come back just to see, right? Because we are excited. I know I'm horrible about keeping surprises, but I've been pretty good. Somebody else says, Heather says, yes, the dolls need pets. Oh, they need kitties and puppies and llamas. No, I'm just kidding. Parakeets. I don't know. Well,
yeah. I'm a bird nerd, so I definitely would.
Yes, a bird on our, put a bird on it, of course. All right. So anyway, any other questions or thoughts or anything at all, just type in here. You can type it into the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey KP, this is Heather. I saw some people in the chat are kind of new to art foamies and we're wondering like what you use to stamp them. Like, do you use watercolor or acrylics? I thought you might want to talk about that.
So much. Yes, of course. So if you're new to art foamies, you are gonna love them. I'm pretty sure. They are, you know, a thick, dense, cushy foam. The nice thing about them is they do take pretty much every and any medium that you want to put on them. So you can use acrylic paint, you can use inks, you can use sprays, you can use all sorts of like sticks. And when I say sticks, I mean like I want to tell you that Derwent sticks probably are one of the best, just because the way they're shaped. and the pigmentation of them. I have used other, well, all, you know, some of the, like, what are those called? Like,
I
you know,
use scribble sticks.
yeah, so scribble
Work great.
sticks and also Jane's marzipan twists that work. Some of them though, so like Neocolor, like the more crayony, they will work, but just so you know, you won't get as much pigment, you know, like it's a little more waxy. So
Yeah.
a couple different ways you can apply your medium. We have what's called Stamp and Scrap Buddies. Okay. Scrap Buddy looks like this. It's just a small piece of foam on a rigid piece of plastic. And then the Stamp Buddies are more like a little larger and more uniform shapes. The scraps are just what they sound like, scraps. I like to apply watercolor to my art foamy this way. Okay. And again, this is artist grade watercolor paper, so you're going to get a really nice, you know, nice watercoloration from it. Is that a word? Watercoloration? I don't know. Anyway, however, you don't want to waste that watercolor, so you can write on the back what color. No, obviously this was burnt sienna. I just decided to use phthalo blue because I didn't feel like demonstrating in burnt sienna for you. Anyway, so if you want to save these, you can put these in a little baggie, you know, label them, put them in a baggie, bring them back out and spritz them with a little water and reapply color and have these, you know, for your art foamies. The thing I like about using water soluble, you know, paint or whatever is that they won't crust up and dry out the same way acrylics will. Now, that being said, I actually do love using acrylic paints with my art foamies because I love the effect. I love how it looks. But you have to wash and clean your art foamies after. Now I used a little bit of, I know you can't see the pattern very well because it's dark, but I used a little bit of watercolor right there, and I'm going to use my Derwent stick on the other part just to show you the variety. And I want to spritz it again with my water just to make sure if you're using a stick or a crayon, your stamp has to be sort of at least moist or damp to accept that. Otherwise you're just doing crayon, you know, it won't really color. Oops, of course, did I just do that? Yes, I did. Oh, well, I'm just going to stamp it on here anyway. You'll get the idea.
And I use, for people who are beginning, like I will just use like a stamp pad.
Yeah.
So that works too. Like you want to, if you use like a stamp pad, I'll use small or large. I just make sure that they have a lot of ink on them. So that the foamy gets a lot, because there's more surface area on the foamies very often. Like if you look at Kae's dress there, you see all that black is surface area. So there's more surface area to cover. So you just want to make sure you have like a really newer, wetter,
juicy
ink. Or yeah, the juiciest ones, I had no idea, but those distress ink pads are so juicy. Those work great, and they kind of come out like jewel tony. So I use the distress ink pads here for those. And then everything else, like I use ink pads or acrylic paint, like Kae was saying, with the Scrap Buddy.
Yes, I do also love, I will tell you, if you want a graphite, you know, like look like you sketched or drew with pencil, you can use, we do sell these. They're not expensive. We sell these on our Art Foamies website. It's a Lyra, I'm not sure, graphite stick. Okay. I take off the wrapper. Again, I'll wet my stamp or moist. I don't want it sopping wet, right? And then you just use the side to color it. Now this is going to give me a dark, again, kind of all over covered surface, right? But it's fun because you get sort of that, you know, graphite look. And also it is water soluble, so you can move it if you want to, you know, paint or do a little sort of wash or whatever. But also the thing I do love about this, and I've shown this in demos before. Oops, her head's crooked. You can you know, one thing about art foamies that's also great is that they're fairly easy to overstamp. Yeah, there she is with her little crooked head. So like you can then overstamp this and get these beautiful sort of rich layers. And anyway, that's just what's fun about playing with art foamies. I'm so excited. Janice says, I'm looking so forward to receiving my art foamies. I love to stamp, but I've never used art foamies. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you to get them. And you have to, of course, let us know if you love them. We hope you do. Anything else? Any other questions? Can you use the house template and cut off the bottom to make it smaller? Yes, definitely, of course. Yeah.
It's literally just a template. So for this one, those of you who might have purchased my older house template, it was like the full book cover, and then you would cut it out. This is just different because you can just cut this shape out and then alter it however you want. But yeah, you could totally shorten it,
And plus, of course, I also love just using these little motifs, like aside from, even if you don't want on a house shape, right? So
yeah, that's why they're there. It's, you can use these little motifs separately. Like, so I always try to maximize like the biggest bang for someone's buck, like if I have a figure on a stencil, sometimes I'll put, a background. So you get a background and a figure or something like that.
yeah, so and I have to pull this out. Now this is kind of a little bit of a mess because I got some paint on it, but this is my digital download that I showed you with all those little houses, and I just isolated one of them, this one, right? And then blew it up. And I have to tell you, like, Megan did not see these, and I did not see Megan's stencil when I did these. Anybody who, like, if you are in my Patreon, then you know when these came out. And I didn't see Megan's stencil. She's not in my Patreon, so she did not see this. And look, I mean, it's just like, it's this serendipitous. These work so great together. So again, this is just a color copy blown up, but it makes a great base layer. So you don't have to do all that, I mean, not saying that work isn't enjoyable, but this does make a great bottom layer. You can just lay that right over the top, stencil it up, and then you have your perfect. In fact, while I did this, let me just cut this out real fast because I just want you to see how cute and how well it works, even though they are not necessarily made to go together, right? This is just, again, a serendipitous thing. And there's a few different ones on this sheet that work, right? So that you can, and even if they're a different shape, you could make it bigger and still overlay this, right? So kind of cool, just transform right before your eyes. And I would probably like to do this on thicker paper. This is nice copy paper that's not very thick. So when I'm done, I'll probably mount it on something. But I'm not really just showing you this to, even necessarily get you to buy these things, or, well, of course, the stencil, you kind of have to have it if you want to do these with us. But is just to show you to be looking, to look at things a little bit differently, because sometimes just hits you, like, wow, that'll go together great. So I'm going to use, actually, kind of a funny thing. I've been using some of my little art foamies as daubers too. So I'm just going to take that stencil. And this already had some yucky stuff on it, so it's okay. I'm just going to consider it a layer. I'm going to pump up my yellow. I got some really nice neon-y ink pads here. Try my orange.
Kae Pea, can I give you a shameless plug?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is Heather. So Kae Pea also has a Patreon membership, and for like $5 a month is the minimum. She has videos, live videos practically every day. And so if you're new to art foamies, I mean, I started, now I'm at the highest tier, but I started with the lowest one, and you just learn so much because she's doing it live. You can ask her questions. It's like an awesome community of people. So if you're thinking about learning more about art foamies, I would definitely suggest you look into it.
Thank you, Heather. It is a super fun group. I will I will admit that. So I love you guys. All right, so here I just want to put a little bit of white into that into that dark spot. Again, I like using, I've done it before, but been doing it more, I guess, because I've been trying to stencil, trying to make Megan proud. But I've been using these art foamies instead of sponges for applying color, because I find they don't break down as fast as the sponge. I'm not getting all that little, whatever, the little crumblies that come off. All right, well, I still need some darker color, but anyway, okay. Just do this on the top, and then you'll see it'll kind of hide. And this is just that Moon Glow extra bright dye ink, but because I wouldn't want to use watercolor on this thin paper. But the nice dye ink is soft enough to sort of blend in, and it doesn't warp or mess up the paper. So sorry about the splotch right there. I'll fix that later. Anyway, you get the idea. So that's that. That's my illustrious demo for the day. Well, not for the whole day, because I have more later. We're doing creative whack later for anybody that's in Patreon. Linda, you're so sweet. All right, anybody else have any thoughts or questions? We'd love to hear from you. Says, is there a newsletter with buying information and links to shopping? So we did do news, like I know Megan did a newsletter.
I did a newsletter a while ago.
And then
when we first launched these on the,
yeah, and we do one every Friday. Okay, so I don't, just artfoamies.com, and you can sign up for a new there.
Yeah, that's where you'll find all the art foamies for this. And my Etsy is no spaces, Megan Quinlan Studio. Megan Quinlan Studio. And the name of this stencil is Home is Where the Art Is, which is like the longest name I've given a stencil, but I just thought it was so cute. So I was like, oh. So and it's the only stencil in there. I usually just sell sets, but this is the only individual stencil that I have. So
I'm sorry if it was kind of dark in here too, and those lights are doing that weird thing again, but anyway, hopefully the technical issues were not as bad as last time.
No, everything, there's no, nothing is pixelated or
I don't look like a monster.
no.
Well, you're not looking at me, so that's good. All right, so anybody else, last chance for questions, thoughts? We'd love to hear from you. If you do have anything that you think of later and you're like, oh darn, I should have asked why I was on there, please email or message one of us. We're real easy to find. We, as always, thank you so much for being here and for getting makey with us, for your support of our businesses. I'm sorry. Yes, I am distracted right now because I'm trying to figure out how to switch my camera around so I could say bye to everybody.
So what you should do, if you haven't already, is just make sure that you subscribe to both our newsletters, because we'll probably announce that actual date and time that we're going to be live in January. So I think that we are doing the second Saturday in January. I can't remember what we decided.
So we decided our lives are going to be the second Saturday of every month unless something comes up, and we'll
which is possible with me, but second Saturday of the month, and we'll do it live, but then we'll record it so then we can then go and put it on our various channels so you can watch it later. But our newsletter will be announcing those dates, so that will be a good place to go sign up.
Yep. And then Donna says, where is your newsletter sign up, Megan? So Donna, I would recommend probably going to your Instagram, right? You have a link tree there.
So people, I don't think everybody knows whenever you hear anybody on Instagram say link in bio, I feel like there's still so many people that don't understand what that means. So this is my Instagram bio. There is a little blue like HTTP. I think it even says link right there.
And it shows that little link. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you click that, it's going to go to all my links. So all these pictures here on this little link tree is everything I've ever done, all my classes, my Etsy shop, my newsletter. And so you can push the button for newsletter, Art Homies newsletter, and you can click on that button and it will either take you to where these Art Homies are, or take you to my classes, or take you to my newsletter, and you can sign up there.
So, and mine is at artfoamies.com, and it is Art Foamies. Okay, so let me type it in here too for you. Yeah, there you go. And it should, if you like go to the Art Foamies website, I think it pops up like first thing, sign up for our, or you know, something like follow us or sign up for fun, or I don't I probably should look at it a little more often, but anyway, so wonderful. It has been really great connecting here with all of you. Again, this is recorded, so Mr. Moon's gonna get it all fixed up, and then it'll be on Megan's if you need to go back and rewatch anything, or you want to come on over, it'll be on Art Foamies, and we will of course be keeping you updated you know, with dates of our stuff coming up, or you know, of our future lives and all that. Second Saturday of the month. All right. Thanks everybody. Thanks for coming. Have a great day. Have a good
Bye everybody.
Today's just Wednesday, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Say have a great weekend, but anyway, I'll see you. Bye, Megan. Thank you.
Bye bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you so much.